Jay Leeming here with you on the Crane Bag Podcast. Thank you for joining me. You can support this podcast if you wish, if you are able, at patreon.com/storyjl. That's patreon.com/storyjl. That's a beautiful and very helpful way of supporting this podcast and supporting my work, which is to tell stories and to get them out there into the world, where they can nourish others and, where they can nourish people in the world. We need these stories. I often do online events in the fall. I hope to be doing that once more. If you are part of that Patreon community, you get to be a part of those events for free. I usually tell, all kinds of things, but probably will tell the Odyssey this fall. We'll see how things go. Or the Mahabharata, a beautiful epic from India. So that's, it costs money to make these podcasts happen. So your support is very much appreciated. And thanks to all those who have already supported this podcast. Once again, that's patreon.com/storyjl. And we are in the midst of 101 Days of Story. That's a project I dreamed up and have been doing. I started June 8th, and I'm telling a story every day and recording it without editing it in any way and releasing it on this podcast. So it's something of a blizzard of stories right now, perhaps. It's been a wonderful exercise just to dive in each day and just tell that story. Bang. And some of them, a little rough around the edges, but others, I'm going for some flow here and some instinct, some intuition, to tapping into those fortunate accidents and to the flowing nature of story, which is limitless in its way. And just to bring you up to speed, that's what I do, is tell stories. I tell them in the ancient, modern, and futuristic way of memorizing the events and not the words, remembering the events and not the words. That's how stories have been told for thousands of years. And it's, it means the story lives in each moment and in each telling in a unique way, and blossoms into the world in a completely different way based on the audience, the situation, my mood, but also the rain, the weather, how things are in the world. So that's part of why I'm doing this, is the recognition that each performance of a story is unique and different, and why not really tap into that. So, here we are. Thank you. So, thank you for being here. You should know that once there was a tailor, and he went for a walk. He went for a long walk. He was in a good mood, wanted to do some serious walking. So he walked through out of his village and along a road. And he walked and he walked. He walked up and up he went until finally he came to heaven. Yeah, I know, unbelievable, but that's what he wanted to do. And he got all the way to heaven, and there was St. Peter at the door to heaven. And the tailor said, "Hey, I'm a tailor from down there on earth. Can you let me in? I want to look around." And St. Peter said, "You can't do that. No, you're a human. You're alive from down there. It's not the place for you." And the tailor said, "Oh, please, St. Peter, I've walked all this way. I've come a long, long way. I really want to see what's going on in heaven." "All right," said St. Peter. "Well, the boss is out, so I'll let you in just for a little while." So he opened the door, and the tailor stepped into heaven. And he stepped not only into heaven, but into the house of God himself. "Wow, look at this place," said the tailor. "Yeah, it's pretty nice," said St. Peter. There were couches, tapestries, paintings, chandeliers, just a beautiful place. And there were also windows, beautiful windows that could see far out into the world, into the universe, in every direction. And St. Peter said, "I got to do a thing or two, but you just stay here. Don't do anything. Don't touch anything. Don't break anything. I'll be right back, and then we got to get you out of here, okay? This is my little favor to you. That's it, all right?" And St. Peter went off and left the tailor in God's house. So the tailor looked around. He marveled at everything he saw. We can only imagine a statue of a gold rabbit, perhaps, beautiful necklaces, just fantastic things, paintings and tapestries, like I said, beautiful things in this house. But the windows were particularly interesting. You could see very far out into the universe when you looked through these windows. They were very large. And there was, of course, a throne with a footstool. And so the tailor sat down on God's throne. Wow. Now that was a good chair, an easy chair, a soft chair, a powerful chair. And he put his feet up on the footstool, and he looked out that big window, the biggest of them all. And he looked down on the earth, and he saw many things. He saw camels moving in a caravan through the desert, the sand kicked up by their hooves. He saw a woman over there in New York City, a beautiful woman doing her nails. He saw a man drinking a glass of water somewhere in China. Just fantastic things. He looked and he looked. He could see every detail, so it seemed. He could see the spots on the back of a butterfly in the Amazon. He could see the hairs on the violin bow of an old man playing a tune in Ireland. He could see fantastic things. The scales on the back of the fish, which a woman in Tunisia had just put onto her cutting board and was preparing to cut for dinner there. Fantastic things. But he looked, and in one particular place, in a place right near a river, right near a rich man's house, he saw a serving woman washing clothes. And the thing is, as he watched this serving woman, she came upon a silken handkerchief. Now, she worked for a rich man and a rich woman. The clothes were very nice. Dresses, coats, all kinds of things. Fantastic. Hats, But she found this silk handkerchief and she said to herself, this is really nice. I could steal this. So as the tailor watched, this serving woman took a silk handkerchief and did not wash it, but stuffed it into the pocket of her dress. It was a handkerchief. It seemed to be made out of moonlight and silver, perhaps. Moonlight threaded with silver. And there were many beautiful designs on it, too. So she stuffed it into her dress, looked around this way and that. No one had seen her. All right. And she kept doing her work. Well, the thing is, the tailor had seen her, and so he stood up, and he started to yell. He kind of forgot. This window was so good. You could see everything so close. He forgot that, in fact, he was really far away, and he just started yelling, Hey, you can't do that. You stole that. You can't steal. Stealing's against all kinds of things. It's like lying, and I'm up here in God's house. I see this. It's not good. It's bad, bad, bad. You are evil. And just like that, filled with anger, he lifted up the footstool, and he pitched it through the window. Shoo! It went woota, through the sky it came, falling down through the realms of air, past the clouds, down and down it went. He wanted to hit this serving woman. Well, the thing is, he missed, and the footstool just splashed into the river, and sunk down to the bottom. And the serving woman saw that, and she was like, Whoa, what was that? It's a weird fish or a bird or something strange. But she was focused mainly on the handkerchief and the task of stealing this thing and looking cool like nothing had happened. So she didn't react too much. She tried not to notice and just kept on doing what she was doing. And then, up in God's house, suddenly there was a sound, and it was St. Peter coming in the door. And he said, Mr. Tailor, we got to get you out of here. This is really not the place for you. You got to go down to the earth. That's where you belong, not up here in God's... Oh, wait. And they heard footsteps, thunderous footsteps. God was coming. Oh, man, St. Peter's... Quick, you got to hide. Hide from God, will you? So the tailor hid behind the door, and St. Peter went away. And God came in to God's house. And God looked around as God does, as a thunderstorm does. And God sat down with a sigh of relief and gladness and joy into God's throne. And God prepared to put his feet up, but hey, where's my footstool? Hey, my footstool's missing, he said. And God stood up and looked around. Something's wrong here. Something's not right. And God looked, and under the door, at the bottom of the door, he could see the tailor's feet right there, and the crack between the door and the floor. And he said, hey, you, come out from there, I'm God. And so the tailor stepped out and was like, I'm sorry, Your Majesty, I'm sorry. I did something with your footstool. Did something, said God. What's this something you did with my footstool? Well, said the tailor, I was looking through this fabulous window you have, this really cool window, and I looked down on earth, and I saw this serving woman, and she was stealing a silk handkerchief from her bosses, the rich man and the rich woman, and I thought this was horrible. It's a sin. It's a crime. So I just took your footstool. I'm sorry. I was angry, and I threw it through the window and tried to hit her with it, and I missed. I'm sorry. And God said, oh, come on. Oh, come on. Listen, Tailor, do you know what goes on down there? Do you know what goes on? War, death, homicide, thievery. People steal things all the time. They cheat on each other. They lie. They kill each other. There's wars and death happening down there all the time on the earth. If I threw a piece of my furniture down at people whenever I saw something bad happening, I wouldn't have a stick of furniture left in this house. Now, get out of here and go back to Earth, will ya? All right, said the tailor, and off he went. Well, there you have it. That's your story for today. That's my story for today. That's our story for today. It's from the book of Grimm's Fairy Tales, published back in the 19th century. And, it's a harmless little thing like a joke, of course. Do we want to put on our X-ray goggles? Do we want to look at this thing? Well, I don't know. Don't want to go on forever, but I would just say I find its attitude towards God interesting and rare in the Christian canon, as we say, the Christian culture. I rarely encounter God treated with such sort of casualness. In the Jewish tradition, I feel like I have run into things like that, but not in the Christian tradition so much. Also, interestingly, we have this pattern of the tailor ascending up to the heights and running into a strong masculine power, much like Jack and the Beanstalk. Begins with a woman and her son, and there's no father, there's no dad. Jack ascends the beanstalk, and there he meets the masculine power run amok, pretty much, a giant, And there are other versions of this. There's sort of shamanic journeys. The contact with the divine comes through ascending, which is interesting, and it's something peculiar. I mean, it's all around us, so we don't see it. We're like fish trying to talk about the water, but that idea that you meet the divine by ascending is throughout Indo-European culture and has its roots most likely in shamanic practices, where a shaman, a healer, would ascend a tree and receive magic and medicine for the people, and then descend and solve the problems that were in his community. So interesting in that way. And interesting, these vehicles to the other world, huh? This way up. I mean, this story just says he walks on a road, he gets to the divine, he gets to God, But in other stories, it's a tree. Of course, in 1001 Nights, you use a carpet to get to the other world. Anyway, interesting patterns. So that's the story. And I will tell another story tomorrow. And who knows what it'll be? I don't know. Thanks for joining me. There are more stories on my website, jayleeming.com, jayleeming.com. There's also an archive of all of the stories I've recorded, epics, fairy tales, etc., and also a page in particular for this project of telling 101 stories in 101 days. Come hell or high water, I'll do my best. I aspire to work through this flowing river of story. And once again, thank you for joining me, and take care.